Hey y'all, welcome back to our final game of the day here on this lovely Saturday afternoon as we have Cloud9 going up against Immortals looking to retain control over first place.
And while we thought that it was going to be easy for both Team Liquid and Cloud9 to win their setup games for the big matchup, Team Liquid already dropped there, so it's still within the realm of possibility that Cloud9 dropped this game. I would definitely not say that it's likely. Immortals, last time they played Cloud9, it was already with this new roster, and Cloud9 absolutely dominated them. It was C9 camping topside, Nisqy had Twisted Fate, Licorice had Wukong, and they just made Allorim's life miserable, camping him over and over. Big carry Wukong performance from Licorice. And Cloud9 have shown that after their losses, last week and in the mid of the split, they got kind of mad. They brought out the big guns, the Galio and Kalista, which really fit their play styles well. So I don't think they're going to be messing around anymore.
Yeah, Immortals, one of our two teams down there with Dignitas, currently sitting on only 3 wins. So this is a mountain to climb, trying to take down Cloud9, but let's take a look at what the bans are shaking out to be. It's Twisted Fate, Aphelios, Olaf, Karma, Graves, and Orianna banned out here this time around.
All right. I have liked the trend that Immortals have gone with in putting Insanity on these late game high DPS mid lane AP carries. So while I do like that, I think it's a good plan they should continue with, it is hard to pull that off versus a team like Cloud9 that come at you super early, that want Nisqy roaming around. Because generally those champions that Insanity has been playing have a very difficult time in keeping their opponents in the mid lane, shoving them in, keeping Nisqy honest and keeping him from roaming around. Already we're seeing immediately too, Cloud9 are like, okay, we are still using the big guns here. Zven's going to get the Kalista again. See if we have some OG Neil's flashbacks. He had a very good performance on it last week.
Kalista, let's see them lock that Volibear in here. There we go. Blaber on that, something he can play aggressive with, be very powerful on both early ganks and moving into mid-game team fights. And Immortals are swift to lock in their next 2 champions. 80 carry and mid both picked up here. Insanity on the Zoe, Apollo on the Ashe, and the response from Cloud9, here comes Galio.
Yeah, so exactly what we had already stated for the team of being the try-hard comp for Cloud9, showing right up here. This makes me excited to see what Immortals can throw at it, though, because with Cloud9, they're obviously going to have Blaber playing aggressive, Volibear looking for skirmishes, Nisqy trying to back him up on the Galio, similar to what we saw Golden Guardians doing last game. And it's up to Immortals, to try and combat that and try and deal with all of the invade possibilities. I mean, they're already facing Kalista combo on the bottom side, so you need to ban away some of the CC supports that pair best with it, that are actually going to be able to break the Ashe once they get to level 6. Alistar is one. Things like Nautilus are also a good option. They took away the Sett in the first pick, so that's also a pretty good pick away that can pair with it quite nicely too.
I think Alistar is the best bowling ball in League of Legends. Kalista throws him in there, you hit somebody with him at the start, boom, he pulverizes him again, boom, he hits him with the headbutt. It's just a nasty combination. I like to see that banned away. Wukong also getting banned out there. Malphite and Ornn hitting some of the meatballs here for Cloud9 in the second half of the draft, expecting that Sett to be in the jungle, trying to keep Allorim off of something that gets nice and tanky. Cloud9 is looking at a Kennen. Kennen plus Galio plus Volibear. This is a diving nightmare for 2 immobile carries in Zoe and Ashe.
Honestly, I like that we're kind of getting a run back here with Cloud9 also throwing the Kennen in. We're like, all right, we saw where the Golden Guardians could have succeeded with that comp, and now we're going to put it in the hands of Cloud9 and look at the differences and see how they can execute on a lot of these mid-game fights. Because like you're saying, Zoe and Ashe also super good targets for Galio, Volibear, Kennen style dives to go on. Plenty of AoE there. And with Maokai being locked in as well, we do get one of those tanks I was talking about for the top side. LEC has been spamming tons of tanks. Cho'Gath, Scion, Maokai, all these things showing up a lot there in the top side of the map. And Maokai is pretty well positioned to try and sustain through the lane. Does get a lot of healing with spell spams and the sap magic. Trying to build some magic resist also goes pretty well since Volibear does a lot of magic damage also. Should be able to have a decent amount of defenses there pretty early on.
And I really like this last pick from Cloud9 too, the Morgana. Black shield, able to stop the sleepiness from affecting you even after you've already become drowsy from the Zoe bubble. If you see the Ashe arrow coming, you can stop the stun from that one. Protects against Maokai's point and click engage. Really think this is a great pick there into all the CC drafted by the side of Immortals. And the one thing I'm looking at here is last time around when we saw this in the previous game, we're like, okay, it's a Azir and a Phelios. That's some late game powerful damage potential. And while we all know what sort of multi-year damage potential Zoe can have if fed, that's typically towards squishier champions. Onto a tank line, she doesn't quite have the same one-shot potential. So when you lack the Azir, when you lack that insane sustained DPS that can come out so quickly in the late game fights, I question, will Immortals be able to break through this front line of C9?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to look for a lot of the picks here with their strengths. They've got really, really good hard engage. Ashe arrow, Maokai ultimate, Nautilus ultimate, Sett. Like, there's so many things for them to force fights with. You just have to be good about choosing those fights on Cloud9 members when they're transitioning. This is a more of an approach of, we're not trying to outscale you for later. We're trying to fight these fights with you. We're going to have teleports coming in. We're going to have plenty of hard CC to lock you down and try and actually win the skirmishes. I think a lot of those depend, though, when your main DPS sources is Zoe. They depend on the Zoe hitting these skill shots first and early, because if you can start it out with a Sleepy Trouble bubble and then you have all of the CC coming through to lock up the kill, that goes a very long way, as opposed to Zoe walking in, even just missing one or two pieces means you're going to lose out on a lot of the damage since you do have so many tanks.
You need to have the shake before you get the bake. Up to Zoe to start it all off. That's how the Zoe comps work. Insanity. We'll see if you can dial it in. Teleports available on both mid laner and top laner for the side of Immortals. Once again, their AD carry going for the combat power there of the heal. Summoner Spellbook only available on the Zoe. So only those two solo lanes will be teleporting around here from this squad. If you look across the table, it's once again only two teleports. They're on the solo laners. Both those solo laners rocking the Spellbook here and the AD carry with the heal. So everything looking pretty par for the course here as we examine keystones, summoner spells, everything like that. Phase rush on the Sett. Press the attack once more on the Volibear. You talked in an earlier game today about how you like that for the early game power and ganking potential.
Yeah, plenty of burst damage in it. Nisqy and Insanity fighting over the wave here as Nisqy does get chunked down, but still has plenty of sustain here. He's the first to take a sip of his corrupting potion. And Insanity starting to wear him down. Plenty of defensive vision on the bottom half of the map here. Cloud9, if you look at the mini-map, closed off both of the jungle entrances to protect Zven and Vulcan. They just want to make sure that there's no early gank from Xmithie to try and mess with the Kalista pushing. Thank you, observers. Both of the two little ramps there warded out by Cloud9 early, so that Zven and Vulcan get to have that push with your Kalista Morgana.
You'd love to see him being able to control the lane like that, especially into a melee support that relies on CC. Pretty easy for Morgana to shut that down. Not too intimidated by the hook when the Black Shield just lets you shrug it off and have a good time anyway. Top side. May see a gank coming out from Xmithie, and there you go. Flash into the initiation there with a twisted advance. Licorice flashing back into the river. Now not afraid to find a bit of a counterattack of his own here. So flash for flash from top laners. And honestly, spending the flash to only get 200 HP off of Licorice, it's pretty much just an even summoner trade here. Licorice isn't going to lose much lane pressure.
Yeah, and his wave is pushing a little bit away from him at the moment, so he's going to be able to continue to pressure Allorim. Should be able to get off a nice recall. Blaber is just taking a quick nap in mid lane. He puts up the shield first.
Oh, Apollo?
It's burning!
You okay, bro? Okay, he's good. He's good. I was worried there for a second.
For how long will he be good? Okay, he's chugging up the potions. There's a big minion wave, but because they just chunked Blaber out mid and they've got Xmithie in the jungle, they know that there's no actual threat coming with the dive. Still, Zven does a good job pushing Apollo off that wave, denying decent amount of the CS from the catch right back up.
Zven with that critical 3 CS advantage over his opponent. Getting the lead started off early here. I like how Nisqy constantly spams emotes for no reason, just to have Insanity shoot him with an auto attack and cancel the emote. I really respect this guy's BM game, as Insanity is completely out of mana here, considering there is not a blue buff spawning anytime soon. It's time for Insanity to go home, refill those resources a little bit, head back to lane when he's got more to work with.
So did you see the interview where Nisqy was talking about it and he said he put it on his mouse button to just spam the random one? So a lot of times it's not even like the high APM. He's not even choosing the wheel and then selecting one of them. A lot of the times it's a random one. Here's the gank from Xmithie bottom though. Quick black shield. And that is the whole story of that gank, Flowers. It is a one-page book.
That is it. That is called ganking Morgana.
I'm here. Black
it's
shield.
It's going to look like that. Very unfortunate there for Immortals, but hey, what are you going to do? It's Morgana, man. You drafted a bunch of CC. You didn't see the support. The red 5th pick paying off for Cloud9. I always complain about this in drafts. I say that North America doesn't take good enough advantage of red side 5th pick. I like this red side 5th pick. I'm giving this one some claps.
And for me, I love this as the answer, the denial, so much more than a Tahm Kench. I mean, Tahm Kench brings so much less to team fights. Morgana, you get to preemptively and proactively block the CC rather than waiting around and putting yourself also in danger. Plus, she works really well with Kalista, being able to get off a lot better ults herself, knowing she also has that safety from Zven.
Bench the Kench, but Morgana is Nirvana. That's the champion you need to pick right there. She even has cooler rhymes. Everybody's seen a bench. Who all's actually been to Nirvana? Like, nobody. It's a crazy meditative state of super peace, and we all play League of Legends, so we don't know what that feels like. We're out here trying to grind for our internet points, bro. We don't got time for that.
You're not making the trek up into the mountains? You don't have the meditation app. Those are hot now, Flowers.
I'm a Skarner player, bro. I only trek to the desert where I can find my spires.
Well, maybe we'll get the Ocean Soul for the Ocean Rift and find our way there. Currently,
yeah, there we go. That'll help us out a little bit.
Blaber's found his way here.
Both junglers have found their way here as Licorice goes into the ultimate, looking to buy himself a little bit of time. But the meatballs of Immortals are going to keep themselves in good shape so far. Nisqy arrives at the very edge of the knock-up. We'll make sure that trade goes 1-for-1.
Yeah, I think the positioning there a little bit off, actually, as Blaber positions to the backside, allowing Xmithie to get the stun off of the clap back, and they pick up the kill first. That first Galio ultimate, they would ideally like it to use that a lot better, a lot more successfully than a 1-for-1 trade. Still, though, Cloud9 will retain their gold lead. And here's kind of the positioning I'm talking about. So Xmithie goes in. You know you need something on both sides of you as Sett to get the stun. Blaber walks right over to the other side, so Xmithie does get the clap stun, fully burst down Licorice, and then even though the Galio ultimate does come in, they can answer one. I think Immortals are pretty happy burning the Galio ult cooldown, as that's something they really had to work around in the early game in a 1-for-1 trade.
Yep, if you're Immortals, you'll take those, but Cloud9 is going to continue taking control of this bottom side here, pushing up time and again. Also got that Demolish proc ticking down to grab some more plate money. Blaber goes over the wall, but considering there's still 2.5 minutes before the Drake spawns, he'll have to settle with a little bit of an appetizer here. Some crab legs walking around the river. Crab still attached. Pick that one up. Easy peasy, 1, 2, 3. Cloud9 is up almost 1,000 gold despite the kills being even. You can see farm leads for them across every role, with the biggest lead being down here in the bottom lane, about 3 waves worth, which if Apollo is able to farm this all correctly will shrink down to about 2. And there you go. One more shot here onto this last little minion. It's all taken care of.
Honestly, it's a lot because of the possible counter engage. When you have your Kalista Morgana, Black Shield allowing Zven to just kite back, and it's so difficult You don't get to keep up in range with those hops and can really punish a Nautilus on the way out. So it makes Hakuho have to be so careful with the engagements that he does choose on Nautilus. Whereas usually you could be a bit more free on Nautilus. You know, aftershock is up, boom, you go in, get big trade, and you can get right back out. Versus this combo is a lot more difficult to make sure you don't take a lot of damage on the way out. And now that they're hitting level 6, you do get the possible combos.
Xmithie starting up the Rift Herald, but deciding it's probably against his best interest, considering Nisqy has entered into Fog. They also don't know the location of Blaber. It's not a good plan. And sure enough, his instincts were correct because Nisqy wanted to make sure that Shelly wasn't under siege from anybody wearing an Immortals banner. Sleep finds its way on to Nisqy. Nice follow-up there with the Paddle Star. Random dab. Sad B.
I love how all the mid laners that start playing against Nisqy know that they have to prep a bunch of emotes too.
Yeah, you know what kind of game you're playing when you're up against Mr. Nisqy here in the mid lane. It's a game of both skill and bad manner, and you've got to be equally adept if you want to survive.
I mean,
Blaber hanging around the mid lane. Oh,
that's League of Legends as a whole, right? It's got a mental aspect to it. But yeah, you're talking about the Rift Herald getting started up here, though. Looks like Cloud9 making a move towards the bomb side instead, completely giving up on that first Rift Herald instead. And, you know, Dragon's not for another 30 seconds. There's not a lot for them to take there. They three-person ward the Raptors.
I like Cloud9 walking away from this one, recognizing that Immortals had rotated their bottom lane up. Like I mentioned at the start of this game, both AD carries have the combat summoner with heal, so it's not like Zven could just teleport up there and join. Blaber shows up in the mid lane, but Xmithie's also there, and with Nisqy already at half HP, that means Cloud9's walking away. Drake is spawning here in 1 second. Cloud9 also still retains control over the tier 1 turret in the bottom lane. Allorim recognizes there's not any fun or minions to be had for him in that bottom lane, so he's just going to beat on some Krugs instead. Hang out down here, grab himself whatever money he can find. He'll take over that creep wave once that tier 1 turret is gone. Blue team summoning up the Rift Herald. It says it on your screen. Immortals trying to grab some free money and plates up here, and they should be able to get it. First turret gold bonus over to Immortals, and there you go. Good use of Rift Herald. Cloud9 will grab their turret in response just moments after.
Cha-ching! And for a brief moment, Immortals had taken the gold lead there. Till the gold comes in, of course, from the bottom side for C9. Another charge should get off here for Shelly as well. And the big chunk onto the top side. So Immortals doing decently well as far as, you know, playing against a lot of these possibilities from Cloud9. The Galio ultimate is back and available now for Nisqy, though, as everybody's summoner spells have also come back off of cooldown. So I expect there to be a bit more fight over the next set of turret plates, bottom side for Immortals, trying to push in that area to move up and get some money for themselves.
You can see Blade of the Ruined King just now as well, popping up on your screen there. Completed for Zven on the Kalista, so the kiting power increases. The speed at which he's able to hop back and forth while auto-attacking increases. And of course, we know how effective that percent HP damage is against a target like Allorim or like Xmithie, that while they have plenty of health with their items so far, the armor just isn't there. So Zven will be able to eat these front lines alive.
Here's what I want to look for next. You see, when you have a split map like that, you trade towers, there's got to be a lot of wards behind you. And Immortals haven't been able to sweep out any of these wards that Cloud9 left when they took the tower. So you have to be so scared of a Kennen flank. Couple of those wards now, as you see them retreating into their own jungle, were opportunities for Licorice and Cloud9 to actually...
Oh, the bear is in trouble, but now he's going right back in because Galio's coming down on top. Reinforcements have arrived. Nisqy going into the back line. Apollo's in some trouble. Here comes your slicing maelstrom. Here's the lightning. Here's the thunder. And Immortals find themselves in a pretty bad place, Kobe. Vulcan walks away. CC coming down onto Allorim now as well. The follow-up damage should not be enough. Blaber recognizes the error of his ways, trying to kill Allorim that close to the turret. Has to flash away, but Cloud9 will take a 2-for-0 win there in that team fight.
Yep, that's exactly the risk we're talking about when you lose your bottom side jungle in exchange for the top side of your opponents. then when you push back, you have to be so careful about all their extra vision that they laid down in there. And Cloud9 finally get that skirmish they're looking for. Boom, make good use of Galio ultimate. Kennen teleporting in. He got right onto the backside, onto Apollo. Licorice there, level 11 with his rank 2 ultimate, able to annihilate him quite easily, and C9 increase the gold lead. They get the fight out in the open, away from those towers, into the jungle, so good job by them forcing it. It was Blaber. He was the first target as Xmithie was able to land some CC, but Apollo wasn't there for immediate damage follow-up, and since you've got the delay of Galio, it buys time for Licorice's teleport. Boom, you see on the bottom of the screen, he absolutely annihilated Apollo. Full CC lock, as well as the extra damage, and then Vulcan's able to flash his way out as well. No casualties for Cloud9.
Yeah, poor Apollo. He flashes away from the Volibear and Galio problem. Gets to think for all of half a second. Whoo! All right, we got out of that. And then sure enough, the lightning comes crashing down, and there's nowhere for an Ashe to go. And you can see the damage charts, man. Volibear is nothing to mess with. 1,889 damage in that last team fight. It's Blaber topping the charts here. 1-0-2 on this champion, continuing to stack up some more HP, probably working towards that dead man's plate that we always see these big tanky boys go for. It's so effective. As somebody that likes to play a champion that can't blink or dash at something, Dead Man's Plate is just a godsend. It feels so good to see that red trail behind you running around with all the extra move speed, closing the gap.
I was going to say, the lines indicating speed are probably the most important too. You know, you got to let everybody know that you're moving fast for the intimidation factor.
Yes. It also upgrades any skin that you're using that has a red color palette by like 1 tier of coolness if it matches. Because it just makes it look like you planned this and you have this sweet energy thing behind you.
Well, they're looking for a sweet Ashe
kill. Here we go. Nice shot there coming down from the CC. Apollo will buy himself just a moment longer, but a moment's all you get, sir. See you back in 25 seconds. Apollo dead for the second time this game, and unfortunately for Immortals, he will not be ready in time to see this third Drake if Cloud9 sees it on spawn. Remember,
look at Apollo's face. He's just like, oh,
we're on. He's like, what do I do, bro? As mid lane, Insanity might now be thinking, what do I do, bro? The CC comes down. Zven gets himself away from the counterattack from the Nautilus thanks to the Black Shield. Zoe nearly dead. Ashe just now respawning. Cloud9 looking to take their third Drake of the game, put us to Soul Point. This is 4 out of 4 Ocean Souls. What did we do to deserve such a lo-fi, relaxing day?
It's the FlyQuest day today. They're getting all the Ocean Dragons. Honestly, though, this is because Immortals keep fighting on the half of the map where they lost all their defenses, and Apollo on Ashe with no flash is a very easy target, extending pretty far up there. Again, Cloud9 just keep replacing these wards. I want to keep highlighting the wards on the area where they took the bottom tower, and they just keep replacing red side jungle wards, allowing them to have these constant collapses and forcing skirmishes in the area where Immortals have no defenses left. They're attacking the weak points and kind of prying this one open. 3 dragons really snuck up on us. We're approaching Soul pretty quickly here, buddy.
Good golly, Miss Molly. Look at that gold chart over there. It's Cloud9, 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 Cloud9. Then we get down to the richest member of Immortals, which is, by the way, the jungler. That means that both junglers have more money than the Immortals carries. Not an ideal situation. Zven trying to get himself away. Here comes the backup. It's Galio arriving to save the day. It's Nisqy going for the 3-man taunt. Vulcan's likely going to die here, but the trade for Allorim means it's a 1-for-1. Zven still staying in the fight, looking to grab some damage. Immortals fighting them off on this one, but now Licorice has arrived to the fight. The CC is there, and Xmithie is gone. Blaber will barely survive. A little bit of healing coming in there as Nisqy gives him the dab. Sad B once again from all Immortals. As, oh my goodness, even when it looks like they start off a fight in a way that might go their way, it's Cloud9 who have the tools and the teamwork to respond, and Nisqy's still hanging around too to make sure that Immortals don't get anything from this tier 1. Blaber still there in the back between the two turrets, dodging away from the trouble bubbles so he doesn't get picked off. Immortals head into the topside river, and they will go after Rift Herald number 2, maybe, or they'll just take the opportunity to get on back, not feeling comfortable with that.
Yeah, just keep on talking. They're going after the minions in the top side.
Yep,
Got
that's the secret to the play-by-play life. Sometimes you just gotta let Jesus take the wheel. Players go.
Teleport used to the top side for Nisqy. He's going to push those minions right back in. Tower should fall pretty shortly too. Cloud9, they're the ones, because Immortals had kind of a slow reset there, that get to retake control, and they're taking down the wards in the river already. They get to establish the Rift Herald as their own. And can they burn it down before Baron arrives? Racing the timer here. They've got plenty of time. Before the Baron comes over and scares him away.
It's 1955 if aggroed.
Yeah, if she's in combat.
Yeah, 1945 if not aggroed. They're going to beat the not aggroed timer. Easy. No question about it. Cloud9 had it locked down. And now with Blaber wielding that Eye of the Herald here for the next 4 minutes, let's see how Cloud9 want to use that. They've got 2 minutes until the potential Ocean Soul spawns. And, okay, you know what I'm not going to say here, Kobe? Is that Immortals have to have a plan. Because I said that in the Dignitas game. And then I looked silly when Dignitas stood around and also looked silly because they didn't have a plan. So
Yeah,
I'm
know
just
what
going
happens?
to say, boy, I hope we see some PvP around this Ocean Soul. That's it.
Good. Don't make any assumptions.
Yep, I'm just gonna say what I would like to see as a fan. Some PvP around the ocean.
Positive thinking from Captain Flowers. Brought to you by Ocean Soul Day, where every rift is an Ocean Soul rift.
Order now, and you'll get a free 5th Ocean Rift in your next solo queue game. Don't forget to queue up at the end of the day to experience the good vibes in the comfort of your own house.
Chapter 3. Captain Flowers tells you how to handle your solo queue game when your team picks both Yasuo and Yone.
You all go.
Xmithie! Running point slide
with the haymaker to block the damage, but he's not going to block enough. Here comes the entrance from Nisqy, and there's Blaber jumping in to turn the turret off, buy him a little bit of extra time, and there's Shelly showing up to finish the job. Cloud9 looking for even more. They make it look so damn simple. They pick up 3, they pick up a turret, they almost got the tier 2. Baron is alive, and Cloud9 is heading on over to it. Immortals, with only their mid laner and top laner on the map, surely have no answer to this.
Surely.
In the bottom side, surely. There is no way.
Zoe!
The Immortals
pick up a smite somewhere? Can she find a smite on the ground, Zoe?
I don't. Who's
Go
got? Okay,
Who's got one?
She's got the smite. She's got Chilling Smite.
Get in there.
Insanity will absolutely live up to his name if he R's over the wall and smites this Baron. Licorice is at 1/3 HP. Blaber is drowsy. There's no smite in the pit from either side, but they have a rend. Cloud9 have gotten away with the Baron here at 22 minutes. Immortals is showing up and they're trying to fight him. Immortals, there is an Ocean Dragon on the other side of the map. Y'all need to just go over there and get that as fast as possible. Because if this team gets Ocean Soul and a Baron at 22 minutes, everything is borked.
All right, I think they got it. They had to pick up some crab meat on the way home from the store.
Nice
Scuttle crab
dinner.
acquired. Apollo's on the case, though. Blade of the Rune King should be able to burn this one down. Then they just have to get back into place for defense. They're going to give up the secondary turret pretty much regardless, so just mount your defense on the inhibitor turret here. Actually, they try and make a swipe here. They'll delay the take. Probably next wave, though. Cloud9 can come to collect.
Yeah, the Volibear ulti also not fully recharged here yet. Remember, once that's ready to go, we'll probably see some pretty disrespectful diving coming in from Cloud9. With a lead like this, with the comp they have, I fully expect them to just go pedal to the metal here and continue to push down the mid lane. Blaber still waiting on that ulti cooldown. Licorice has ult ready to go. Nisqy also needs a few more seconds before his can happen. And once everything is assembled here, it's kind of, this is Team Comp Exodia. They just need to draw the last couple of cards here with the summoner spells, and it should be GG.
Yeah, they're looking to throw Apollo in the bounce house once again. You saw it last time when they picked him off mid lane. Just knock up after knock up. He just got tossed in there when he was not looking to play. And he's got no flash this time around either. So Ashe is still just such an easy target for this Cloud9 comp to go after.
Nobody can protect him either. Poor Hakuho's stuck being the overprotective mom, yelling, "Get my son out of there. He's too scared. He won't survive in that bounce house." Sure enough, the rest of the kids are like, "Nope, we're going to have fun." And here comes your dive. Apollo's out of the picture. Blaber's on a killing spree. Cloud9 just continues the chase. Insanity's on the run, but Zven has his number. Immortals walking away with 3 players remaining, and all they can do is look on as Cloud9 will wreck this base completely. 3 players there in the top side, a couple remaining in mid. Now they're just going to work together, take down top lane inhib. They're not even wasting time on mid lane inhibitor. They know the game is over right about now. They're looking to end it before 25. Sett goes in for the initiation, but Licorice is right there with a Kennen slicing Maelstrom just to make sure nothing can possibly happen from this. Apollo has respawned. It's still a 3-man defense from the side of Immortals. Cloud9 not willing to back away. They want to end this game, Kobe. Nexus turret number 2 should fall here in just a moment. Nisqy stasis keeping him in a good place. He tries to walk back. Damage still being poured into the Nexus. Zven with a nice QSS to get away from the sleep. Allorim taunted up. Allorim will likely fall. Kept alive there by the sap magic, but Zven dominating to finish off the kill. He's got the black shield. He's got the damage. He's got no fear whatsoever as Xmithie goes in, but he's got no ulti ready to cast. It's a triple kill for Zven. Licorice looking to set him up. Can he make it happen? Zven needs a little bit more. Here comes your damage. It's a quadra. Zven, go get it. Insanity, you get back here right now. Penta denied, but a 25-minute victory for Cloud9.
Yep. In the Cloud9 games, the bounce house plays you, Captain Flowers. They bring it home to Apollo, and there's no chance there. They dive him once again. Another easy kill. Honestly, as soon as we had the one trade, the one breakpoint in the game where top side goes down for Cloud9. They trade that for pushing hard on the bottom side. Zven and Vulcan had absolutely dominated that lane, and they finish up the tower by themselves. Then being able to play off that side over and over. They leave behind wards. You teleport in on those wards, constantly attacking the weaknesses here of Immortals. And we're back to seeing Cloud9 to business as usual.
Yup, Cloud9 looking like Cloud9 here to close out the day. And now we're going to toss to that commercial break here one more time. Once we get back on the other side, we're going to be joined by Vulcan for the Verizon post-game interview. Don't y'all go anywhere.
Verizon knows how to build unlimited right. You start with America's most awarded network, the one with unbeatable reliability 13 times in a row.
This network is one less thing I have to worry about.
Then you give people more plans to mix and match, so you only pay for what you need.
Verizon Unlimited plan is so reasonable, they could stay on for the rest of their lives.
You include the best in entertainment, and you offer it all starting at $35. Because everyone deserves the best. This is Unlimited built right, only on Verizon.
Welcome back to the LCS and the Verizon postgame interview. I am joined by Cloud9's Vulcan as they take down Immortals, showing the gods can bleed in an actually fast fashion. Thoughts on the game? It seems like everybody was just kind of going about their way. You did get to play Morg, though.
Yeah, I mean, Morg was a pretty fun champion in that game. They gave me a lot of value with Nautilus and Maokai locked in 4 and 5. I think I had some pretty good plays. I was able to, I think, perform better than I've been performing the past couple of weeks, so it feels good to kind of show up today.
And obviously, C9 back to the winning ways. I'm sure the fans are happy. Does it feel like things are ironed out? Do you feel like opponents were kind of figuring out the team, or you maybe had gotten complacent a bit?
I don't think it's us getting complacent or anything. Not really. The other teams getting better either. I think we just kind of struggled with figuring out what we wanted to do in the meta. Kind of new champions popped out. Priorities shifted. We started getting banned out on our main champions like Olaf. So we were kind of trying to figure out what we need to play more, what we need to practice. And I think we got back on track, and it showed today. Obviously, not versus the strongest of opponents, but I'm pretty confident going into Team Liquid tomorrow.
Perfect. That's exactly what I want to talk about. First off, as well, LCS put out a tweet of kind of comparing the lanes and which teams had advantage. And as they got to the bot lane, Core JJ was ranked over yourself. Do you feel like you have to prove yourself here, or do you feel like you're already better?
I think it's hard to argue that I performed better this split so far. I think I was playing like Yuumi a bunch in our losses and didn't perform particularly well. And Core JJ has had some pretty insane bar games specifically. So I think he's been playing better. I'm not afraid of him or anything. I can always like rise up to his level. You know, I'm not. I don't come with an underdog mentality against him. I think right. I think we're on a similar level, and I think I can perform better on any day. So,
how do you feel like that game's going to play out overall? Liquid looking strong, and C9 also hitting their stride. It's been since week 3 since you faced off. Your feelings about that game?
Well, recently I think they've been playing a very slow game, and generally when teams try to play slow against us, they don't have too much success because we are pretty good at snowballing, and I feel like they don't try to punish enemy mistakes, or they don't look for too many good plays early game. They kind of just play the LCK style where you'll farm and then a dragon spawns and you're like, okay, well, we don't want to give them soul, so let's go and hope we win. And I think that style is not very good versus us. So I'm confident if we're able to perform well and if we're able to execute well on our plays, I think we'll be able to snowball and beat them pretty easily.
Vulcan, thank you so much for the insight, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
All right, best of luck to Cloud9 in their match tomorrow. Right now, we are going to throw to the State Farm analyst desk to break that down and close out the day.
Thank you very much, Riv. A smash of a game from Cloud9 there over Immortals. When you talk about early to mid-focused team comps like we had seen in Game 3, Cloud9 just put on a masterclass in how to pilot one of those to victory.
It looked like the same kind of comp that Golden Guardians ran, at least the top side was. So there was a bit of a throwback there to how Golden Guardians played around the Kennen lane, but then the bottom lane was way more aggressive. And this is what Cloud9 plays when they're trying to smash you. So seeing it come out against Immortals and not Team Liquid, I think was already getting me excited for what tomorrow is going to look like, because they were not holding back against a team that should have been beatable with any comp that they ran.
Yeah, Mark, any thoughts?
I thought it was a clean game. It was one of those games where you just kind of like checking the boxes of everything they're doing right. Oh, it looks good. You know, it was a very impressive game on their side.
Yeah, I mean, they took the fight to them pretty early, right? We talk about where the power level of each of those champions are. 12 minutes in, we find ourselves a team fight, and Cloud9 is off to the races.
Yeah, this looks like a classic Blaber's getting caught. Oh, wait, Morg shield. Oh, wait, Galio ult. And then Blaber gets to go play the game. So this was a really
Kennen
fun.
playing.
And a Kennen playing. So this was really, watching this before it was happening, I was going like, oh, look, Blaber's, he's going to get chunked for free here. And then I didn't notice the, TP were behind them, and then how much this comp spiked so early. So this was the kind of thing where once you lose this fight against Cloud9 early game, I don't know what teams are thinking, but as a viewer, I'm watching it, I'm like, this is going to be hard to come back from now.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how a lot of the games are for C9, is their comp usually has this great ability to protect people, and they also just smash individually. Like, the fact that you have these advantages across the board at 15 minutes in your lane. Yes, Blaber was active on the map and there were skirmishes going on, but that's still just a lot of raw laning power and in terms of having good early game champions like the Kennen and the Kalista. So yeah, when you start to collapse into a fight and usually you have priority or a health advantage and an item advantage, like those are going to go pretty good.
Yep, yeah. I mean, that fight took place at 12 minutes. You see the CSD numbers at 15 for the squad, so a very solid gold advantage for Cloud9 moving into the mid-game crumbs. The only fight we have left to look at is the 20-minute one, because from there, this game is unsalvageable on the side of Immortals.
So at this point, the Kalista is really just doing whatever she wants. With a Black Shield, there's nothing that Immortals can do. We heard it from Vulcan just how impactful that pick was going to be. And they can just continue to run straight at IMT. They really don't have anything that they can do to her right now. The lifesteal, her ability to just move around, and it's just too easy when you get this far ahead. But it's so important for this Cloud9 roster to also play with a strong bottom lane. It was in their losses when they were playing the Wukong bottom lane, the Wukong Senna, that was something that just takes away that 29 CSD that Zven can pump out. That's so important so that the rest of the map can work together.
Did you see the FPX flare there, Crumbs? I think Nisqy is a little upset that you had Solo pinged as the best emote user. Nisqy has been popping off all split.
I'll admit, I didnidn't reply to him or anybody that tagged me in it because I forgot.
All right,
I forgot it, Tyler. He definitely is ranked #1 with Solo as well.
All right. Well, they are the definitive top two when it comes to the emote game here in North America. The only final thing I want to touch on this matchup, well, actually less to do with the matchup, more to do with the teams themselves, is returning to the Immortals squad, the roster decisions and change-ups they've made throughout the split. How are we feeling about the 5 who are on the Rift now, and whether or not any other changes, whether it be for postseason hopes or for Immortals looking towards spring, is there anything else that should be done from this org to kind of determine what their best path forward is?
I mean, personally, I think we've seen Allorim Insanity enough to kind of guess how it's going to play out for the rest of this split, at least. And right now, I'd say like Insanity's performing so well, I would put all my eggs in that basket and maybe attempt to see how the team plays with Soaz, because Soaz can play this like, I'm going to just sit on a Maokai and farm. So we can do the Allorim job, but he'll have a lot more knowledge in game to kind of facilitate maybe a win or maybe just keep them in the running, because Immortals' potential to get into playoffs is not gone yet. So if I can get Insanity as my player that I want to build up and I can get them into playoffs, I can get them a best of 5 to perform in. Like, it's just so different than best of 1s. I would like to give a rookie that chance to see how they play on the LCS stage in a best of 5 scenario.
Crumbs?
That's from the player side, and on the management side, they're still feeling the void of the head coach and GM that they lost. So I think that they're still understaffed in that sense. And typically when you have these roles come in, they're the ones that are offering a large, grand vision for that years down the line for what the team is supposed to be working towards. So I think that that's probably what is most important for this organization, to be able to say who is going to be playing in and whatnot. Because if they're thinking, oh, we want to be all about developing younger talent, then I think you can go with a lot more of the young guys and then forget about the veterans. But if they're saying, oh, we want to try to win or playoffs immediately, or we want to try to accomplish something right away, then I think higher budgets and also more of the veteran guys would probably be their move.
Yeah, I mean, on that side, I can see the argument for keeping Allorim in. If you don't have high hopes for the season regardless, and you just want more information, get him up against more LCS laners in real LCS games to see if next year you want to reinvest in this player. Insanity, to Prawley's point, has probably shown enough to want to give him another shot, but you're still maybe wondering about Allorim, and if you don't think Soaz is, if you don't see any way that you actually make a push in playoffs and you just get knocked out in the first round, maybe it's more valuable to give the time to Allorim than to Soaz. I think that would be the other side to it, but I definitely understand Prawley's point.
Yeah, tough 0-2 weekend for Immortals. Cloud9 smashing victory to kick things off. The LCS returns tomorrow with Dignitas loading up onto the Rift opposite Evil Geniuses. Then it's a battle at the top of the standings with Cloud9 versus Team Liquid. Only one game separating them. 2 more matches before the Bud Light League Lounge, which has Crumbs, the Tigress, and Immortals top laner Allorim joining me to wrap up the weekend and play some more games. Crumbs, if we get paired up together, we better bring it tomorrow. I hope you're ready.
I hope I'm ready too, Dash. I let you down last time. I'm pretty sure I'll do that again, but I'll prepare. I'm just hoping that Allorim brings his banjo, though, because
I think we might be playing the same game,
that
too,
could be
Crumbs.
cool.
So it's redemption time. Oh, I wouldn't mind a little banjo serenade. Let's take a look at our standings going into tomorrow here in the LCS. Like I said, Cloud9 rather atop the table, 11-2, 10-3. Team Liquid right behind them. Then a slew of teams between the 8 and 5 win mark, with Dignitas and Immortals bringing up the rear at 3-10, 3-11. That, however, is going to do it for us here on the LCS today. So now on behalf of myself, the casters, the entire remote broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you later for more LCS. Have a good night.
Good
You
night.
have a good night.
No, you!